was once a rodent the size of a cow. It looked almost exactly like this animal, the capybara, except it weighed about 1,000 kilograms. And on this list, it only comes in at number 6. Almost every animal you know has an extinct relative that was enormous. Same family, same body, same way of living, just scaled up to a size that sounds made up. So we are going to line 8 of them up against the living relative you already recognize and rank them by one simple number: how many times bigger the extinct one was. Number 8 is barely a stretch. Number 1 is almost 1,000 times heavier than the animal it left behind. We start with the orangutan. A big male weighs around 75 kilograms, and he is already one of the strongest animals in any forest. But 200,000 years ago, in the bamboo forests of southern China, there was an ape called Gigantopithecus. From its jaws and teeth, which is nearly all we have, it is estimated at 200 to 300 kilograms and possibly 3 meters tall, standing up. 3 times heavier than the orangutan. It is the largest ape that has ever existed, and it lived recently enough that our own ancestors may have seen it. Next, the green anaconda, the heaviest snake alive today at roughly 90 kilograms. 60 million years ago in what is now Colombia, the rivers held Titanoboa. 13 meters long and estimated at 1,100 kilograms, 12 times heavier than an anaconda. A snake so heavy that it probably could not have supported its own body on land for long and spent almost all of its life in water. Its ribcage was wider than a doorway. Which brings us back to the rodent. The capybara is the largest rodent alive today, about 60 kilograms of calm, grass-eating swimmer. 3 million years ago, its relative Josephoartigasia walked the same part of South America, and the best estimates put it near 1,000 kilograms, 17 times heavier. Picture the animal you just saw, with the same blunt face and the same tiny ears, standing as tall as a cow and weighing as much as a small car. That is not a monster. That is just a capybara that never stopped growing. Number 5 is the one that should make you angry rather than amazed. This is a manatee, around 500 kilograms, drifting through warm, shallow water. Its close relative was Steller's sea cow, 9 meters long and about 10,000 kilograms, 20 times heavier. And unlike everything else on this list, we know exactly what happened to it. It was still alive in 1741 when Europeans first described it. 27 years later, it was gone, hunted to extinction inside a single human lifetime. At number 4, the metric changes because for this animal, we genuinely do not know the weight. This is a millipede, a few centimeters of armored segments. 300 million years ago, Arthropleura crawled through the coal forests at 2.5 meters long, 25 times longer than the millipede in front of you. It is the largest land invertebrate ever found, and the reason we know its size is not a skeleton. It is a set of fossilized trackways, pressed into ancient mud, wide enough that they were mistaken for the tracks of a large animal. Number 3 needs no introduction, but it does need a correction. The great white shark is about 1,100 kilograms. Megalodon is estimated between 50 and 60,000. That is roughly 45 times heavier. And the comparison people usually make, that Megalodon was a giant, great white, is wrong. They were not close relatives. Megalodon belonged to a completely different lineage, and the great white's actual ancestors were smaller sharks living alongside it. The most famous prehistoric giant is not this shark's grandfather, it was its competitor. Number 2 is an animal you have almost certainly seen crossing a road. A 9-banded armadillo weighs about 5 kilograms. Its Ice Age relative Glyptodon weighed close to 1,500, 300 times heavier. It carried a solid domed shell over a meter tall, built from hundreds of fused bony plates, and it is the reason the armadillo exists at all. Same design, same armor, same low, slow walk, shrunk by a factor of 300. Which leaves number 1, and number 1 is not a predator or a snake or a shark. It is the slowest, gentlest animal in this entire video. This is a 3-toed sloth. It weighs about 4 kilograms and moves so slowly that algae grows on its fur. Its relative, Megatherium, weighed 4,000 kilograms, 1,000 times heavier. Standing on its hind legs, it reached about 6 meters taller than a giraffe's shoulder, and it used claws the length of your forearm to pull entire branches down to its mouth. It was one of the largest land mammals that has ever lived, and its closest surviving descendant hangs upside down in a tree, weighing less than a house cat. So why was everything bigger? For most of the last few million years, Earth was colder, and in a cold climate a large body loses heat more slowly, which quietly rewards being huge. There was also more open grassland, more food at ground level, and crucially, no one hunting with tools. Then, between about 50,000 and 10,000 years ago, the climate swung and modern humans spread across every continent. Almost every land animal over about 40 kilograms disappeared. Not the small ones, the big ones. Which means the animals in this video are not the exceptions. They are what normal used to look like. The capybara, the armadillo, the sloth, the manatee, the anaconda. Every one of them is the small, surviving edge of a family that used to be enormous. We are not living on an Earth that never had giants. We are living on the Earth that is left after they were removed. And in almost every case, the thing that removed them looked a lot like us. If the hidden rules behind the natural world are your kind of thing, subscribe, because there is a whole planet of them still left to uncover.